Greetings coders. For the next few lessons we're going to be looking at a fictional game called FortNot, and in that, as part of that, we're going to be coding certain parts of the game. We're going to be coding, first of all, the inventory. If you don't know what an inventory is, it's a list of things that you own in the game. So we're going to get the computer to type out a list of the weapons in the game and the bookies that they cost. I can't use V-Bucks because I think that would be a copyright issue. So we're going to call them bookies. I'm just going to run the code and let you know what the end code should look like, and then I'm going to show you how to code it. So if I just run this module, all it does, welcome to FortNot, load in your inventory, and then it tells me that I've got launchers for 600, shotguns for 220 and rifles for 500. How that's achieved then is by doing what's called a for loop. Now this for loop here, actually what it does is it loops through a list. So for each item in this list called weapons, for each item it will print the name of the item, and then it will print how much it cost down here. That's how that works. So coding it then, if you'd like to code it bit by bit, pressing stop and play. Here we go. So the first thing I know that I'm going to be using is some kind of delays in there, because I don't want the inventory to all appear on the screen at the same time. So import time. I don't need to import any of the library items at the moment, so I'm going to go straight on with the output, which is the welcome. So print welcome to FortNot. And delay, none of this is new to you, and then I'm going to put print load in your inventory. Dot dot dot, so it makes it look like it's actually loading it up. So I'm going to put a little delay in there of 2 seconds. Now we get to the good stuff. We get to defining the things that are on our lists. So weapons, we can have, we need an equal sign there first of all, and if you notice it's a square bracket, so it's not a round bracket, it's a square bracket for lists. And the list items need to be in speech marks as well, so we'll put launchers and then a comma. They all get separated by a comma. Shotguns, separated again, and rifles. I'm just going to put 3 in. You can put all of them in if you like. Obviously when you do this, it's your game and it's up to you. So now I'm going to define the cost of each of those things. So I'm going to put bookies cost. And if you notice, I've put that in camel case, which means the second word has got a capital letter, so it looks like a camel with a hump in the middle, and that makes it much easier to read. Equals square bracket. Launchers are going to go for 600, shotguns for 220, and rifles for 500, and close the brackets. So that's just defined my variables there. That's just said what I want in the list, and my 2 lists if you like, and we're going to make them into 2 lists with the for loop. So I'm going to call it inventory, so for inventory, and then I need to say what the range is. I could say I'm in a range of 3, so make this loop go 3 times, 1, 2, 3. But if I add to the list later on, that might cause that a problem. I'd have to change that number as well, that 3, to something else. So instead of doing that, I'm going to leave it more open by saying in range len, which means the length of the list for each one in the length of the list, which is called weapons, and then I'm going to close the brackets. Now I've opened 2 brackets, one there, so I need to close 2, and I need a colon, and you see it jumps across again because this next line belongs to the for loop. So print, and this is what I want it to say. I want it to say weapons, and then I want it to get the weapons from the inventory, close the square brackets, comma, and then I want to put bookies, cost, square bracket, and that's coming from inventory as well. Whoops. And then close the round bracket as well because I've opened a round bracket here. One round bracket opened, another round bracket opened, but these are list items, so they're included in square brackets. So F5, save it. I'm going to save it as inventory loop. And here we go. So as you can see from here then, what it's done, this for loop, in the range length weapons, it's printed the weapon from the inventory, launchers, shotguns, rifles, and next to it is put the cost, the bookie's cost in there. And that's all you need to do to print a very, very simple little list. We're going to go on and improve that list by putting them all in nice, neat, tidy rows by just changing the code very, very slightly. But we're going to do that in the next lesson, which is going to be also about creating a list, and this time it's going to be a leaderboard. So all the different kind of lists that you can think of in games are coded in this kind of way, whether it be looking at things on your inventory, looking at things that you can buy, looking at levels, looking at usernames, looking at leaderboards. They're all lists of things which are all coded in exactly the same way. Hope you enjoyed it. Have fun.